Get ready to dive into 3 terrifying Craigslist stories that will haunt your thoughts forever. Before we begin, subscribe to the Disturbing Stories channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Give this one a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear these unsettling tales. Story 1. The Secret Stock. It all started with a simple need. I needed to furnish my new apartment. It was a small place, and since I was on a tight budget, Craigslist seemed like the perfect option. Among several listings, one caught my attention. Total liquidation, assorted furniture, flexible prices, immediate pickup. The description didn't say much, which only piqued my curiosity. I sent a message, and minutes later, I received an odd reply. Midnight, old store on 8th Avenue. Bring what you can pay. Most people would have ignored it, but I was desperate and curious. The store looked abandoned for years. Its windows were caked with dust, and the doors creaked as if they hadn't been opened in ages. Inside, the atmosphere was unsettling, dimly lit by a flickering fluorescent light. The shelves were packed with old junk, antique clocks, torn sofas, and stained mirrors. In the back of the store, a thin man in a worn-out coat appeared from the shadows. He nodded at me and gestured toward the items without saying a word. Among the worn furniture, I found something strange. A wooden chest with carvings I didn't recognize. They looked like runes. I slowly approached, feeling a chill run down my spine. "Is this chest for sale?" I asked. The man nodded with a smile that seemed to hide a silent promise. I brought the chest home that same night, but that's when things took a turn. Around 3 in the morning, I woke up to strange noises, muffled whispers coming from inside the chest. When I opened it, it was completely empty, but I could feel a presence in the room. The air grew thick, and the temperature plummeted. In the following days, objects in my apartment started moving on their own. Picture frames shifted places, drawers opened by themselves, and a figure began to appear in mirrors. The face of an old man with eyes like liquid darkness. Every night, he repeated the same chilling phrase, "Released. You shouldn't have opened it." Terrified, I tried to return the chest, but the store was gone. It was as if it had never existed. Ever since, I've had the eerie feeling that something follows me. Every time I glimpse my reflection in a mirror or a window, I see that same face, smiling. And I know he's just waiting for the right moment to escape again. Story 2. The Cheap Room. It started on a cold, lonely night. I was broke and needed to find a room to crash in for a few weeks. On Craigslist, I stumbled upon a strange ad. Room for rent. Cheap. Simple rules. No questions. Enter and leave only during the day. Seemed sketchy, but I was desperate. I called the number in the ad, and a man with a raspy voice answered. "If you want the room, come tonight. Rainfall Motel, room 9, he said. The location was odd, but the price was too good to pass up. When I arrived, the motel looked run down, with a flickering sign that seemed on the verge of burning out. The air felt thick with unease. The man was waiting at the door. He was small and pale, with sunken eyes that hinted at dark secrets. The moment I stepped inside, he got straight to the point. Follow the rules. Don't touch the wardrobe, and don't stay after sunset. I didn't ask any questions. I just nodded and lay down, hoping to rest. That first night, I woke up suddenly. The room was eerily silent, but there was something off, a cold chill that seemed to come from the wardrobe in the corner. It was covered by a black curtain, and faint whispers drifted from within. My heart pounded as I slowly approached. The moment I touched the curtain, the whispers stopped. I crawled back into bed, telling myself it was just my imagination. But the next night, I woke up again. This time, the curtain was slightly open, and I could feel something watching me from inside. I saw 2 glowing dots, like eyes reflecting the dim light. I froze, unable to tell if it was real or a nightmare. The next morning, I found a note pinned to the door. "The wardrobe knows you saw it." My blood ran cold. I bolted from that room and I've never gone back. To this day, I don't know what was inside that wardrobe, but whenever I see a dark curtain, I feel like something is on the other side, watching. And sometimes I get the feeling it will find me again. Story 3. The car with a mind of its own. I've always been a fan of classic cars, so when I saw a 1972 Mustang listed on Craigslist for a ridiculously low price, I didn't hesitate. I called the seller, who sounded nervous and eager to get rid of the car. "Pick it up today. Just don't look back when you leave," he said, but I thought it was just a joke. I arrived at the pickup location and found the car exactly as advertised. Black, sleek, and perfect on the outside. The engine purred like a beast, but there was something off. The moment I sat inside, I smelled mold, as if something ancient had been trapped in the car. Ignoring the uneasy feeling, I paid the man and drove the Mustang home. The first week was uneventful, but then odd things started happening. I'd park the car one way, only to find it in a different position the next morning. The doors locked by themselves, and one night, I heard the engine running even though I had the keys in my hand. Then came the night everything went out of control. I was driving down a deserted road when the steering wheel turned on its own. The car sped up, and the doors locked. I tried to brake, but nothing worked. Through the speakers, I heard a low chuckle, as if the car was playing with me. The speed increased, and I braced for the worst. Just as I thought it was over, the car screeched to a halt in front of a junkyard. An old man appeared at the entrance, eyeing me with sympathy. "That car, it chooses its victims," he said. "You got lucky." Shaking, I tossed the keys to him and walked away. As I distanced myself, I heard the engine roar to life again, as if the car was already waiting for its next owner. I've never driven a classic car since. And to this day, whenever I pass that junkyard, the Mustang's headlights flicker, as if reminding me of our final ride. Did these unsettling stories give you chills? Subscribe to Disturbing Stories and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. Don't forget to like and share these stories with your friends. After all, you never know when something on Craigslist might be waiting for you